well, you cannot teach your children anymore. That right has been taken away from you.
The right
is simply ludicrous.
Yeah.
Not only is the right taken away from you, but it is not recognized.
It makes you question why. Why is it so important to put a law?
Yeah.
To put a law against parents homeschooling their own children.
Well, not
why?
even homeschooling.
Then you start to think, why? Then you start to think, well, who gets to decide what the educational system is run? Who runs it? Who decides what is taught? So then these are questions that I think it is important to stop and think about.
And then if you go beyond that, is also that if someone does choose to educate themselves in a means that is not recognized as far as homeschooling even, through different mentors or scholars, your knowledge and the education that you've received is not recognized unless you have a formal degree. So you're not recognized for all of that which you have been learning unless you're doing it within a formal educational institution. And that's another thing as well. So we've completely taken away from learning naturally.
You are ready to go to the world now.
Yeah. We've completely taken ourselves out of the natural living
who's to say you're
of life.
How could, like,
the experience of life in and of itself.
It's just, it's
so we're basically saying that to live and to experience life does not hold weight in comparison to going to school. And then, as Aline said, you have to ask the question, why?
Just ask.
How is living and being and experiencing not garnering the same acknowledgement as getting a degree in school?
Yeah. Something to ponder about.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we also wanted to discuss just a little bit about the alternative with respect to education. So what would we be, what would we purport that should be part of an educational system per se? Okay, so let's just get rid of the system part, because I wouldn't purport a system. Would be what we were just discussing, which is going more by the laws of nature, and the laws of nature as they pertain to each individual.
Yes, it's coming from different people's perspective. We all have different perceptions and perspectives and looks on life. Everybody does, and nobody is necessarily more wrong or right than the other. But it is important to have an open discussion, to have an open for everyone to be able to express what it is that they are perceiving about their everyday experiences and life in general. And this is something, instead of, well, this is how it is, and this is what it is, and that's it. So it's, I think a more open platform is much.
An open platform, and also one in which you are
But it allows
motivating
for your mind to be challenged. It allows for you to think, and which is the most important thing is to think, to allow your mind to think for itself.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
No.
Sorry. I think we need an educational system that supports somebody exploring themselves. Right. And that's not necessarily a thinking thing as much as it is a being thing and a doing thing. And it would be nice that the educational
focus more on
environment provided.
Is that what you're saying?
It would be nice if the educational environment provided the resources for us to be able to experience those things that attract our beingness, those things that get us excited and that are naturally occurring inside of us. And therefore, as you were saying, to focus on the individual, not necessarily that you are focusing on an individual lesson plan, but focusing on allowing for the blossoming of the individual. So it's allowing for the person really to focus on self and just to experience self. And then, of course, there are many abilities that we have that are inherent and shared amongst all of us that go beyond that which
Yeah.
each individual is attracted to, that would be lovely.
Yeah.
If we can spend a little bit more time focusing on the tools and resources that we have within ourselves, as opposed to focusing on
Outside
actions that require tools and resources that are from the outside. So
there's not enough balance.
Focusing on inherent abilities like telepathy and all of those types of abilities that we inherently have.
Your natural beingness as you come into this world is to focus more on the abilities. We're the ones who create everything. We're the ones who create everything that is taught. If it's coming from us, we're the ones, then it should be focused onto us, what we are here our capabilities of doing and teaching, and therefore informing. So yes, it's not taught.
We need to bring it to a more quintessential basis. And our quintessential essence of beingness is energy. And we need to teach, in my humbled opinion, we would all benefit enormously if we learned a little bit more about energy, and more specifically about the energy that we contain within our own beings, and that which we can do to manipulate energy through our consciousness, through our thoughts, as you were speaking about thinking, is to learn how to think, is to learn how to use your thoughts in a means by which you are creating that which you desire, which is of a positive nature, obviously, that is not inflicting any harm onto any others.
Which, by the way, we're going back to into what we were talking about, the Oscars and the movies that are negative movies, war movies or horror movies that are not necessarily good for the mind. All it does is pollute it. Well, what you just said with expanding the mind and using enforcements and stimulants for the mind is questioning and thinking, allowing yourself. All it does is expand your mind and your knowledge and capability of knowledge and understanding. And positivity and anything that is glorious and beautiful is enough stimulants for the mind to actually become a lot smarter and a lot more capable of thinking and expanding in thought, and thus being able to learn and understand on a broader scale. I think Deepak Chopra actually mentions that when you have happy thoughts, it allows, what is it? He calls it the serotonin.
Serotonin is a drug in the brain.
In the brain.
It's a chemical.
Exactly,
brain,
which expands, which is
for happiness, yes.
For happiness, exactly. So
it's actually what's his name? The water guy.
Oh, I can't even remember his name.
Oh, that's horrible.
The fact that you even remember a bit of his name.
No, I know his name. It's just brain freeze right now. But he has shown how molecules are affected by thinking and conscious, intentional, directed thought, which we discussed earlier. Everything is energy. So obviously your thoughts, your consciousness is energy as well. How you direct that energy is a gift that we all have. And what we were discussing earlier with respect to teaching our children how to utilize the power of their consciousness and the power of their thoughts to materialize, to manifest what they would want to manifest. And of course, teaching them to manifest those things that cause no harm to themselves or to others, but are actually beneficial to all, which would be teaching from a position and perspective of love. So, yes.
Kudos.
Definitely. Now I feel horrible that I forgot his name. Emoto? Oh, it's horrible. Horrible.
Not Osho.
No.
Emoto.
No.
I can't remember his name either.
No. Anyways, I'm sure that, it would be great if anybody out there can remember his name and would write it into me right now so that we can say it live.
Yeah, if they do.
So we've got a couple of other things that we wanted to bring up today, but how would you like to do?
Oh, you want to do
going with the flow cards?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, we've done this twice before, but none of you saw. So
now we're going to do it again.
For real this time. So these are cards that we've created, and each card has something